They laughed behind her back, called her Clumsy Kate, the joke of the base. Too slow, too awkward, not cut out for combat flying. But when 12 soldiers were stranded and no one else dared, she stepped into the cockpit, alone, focused, and unshakable. What happened next silenced every doubter forever. Because sometimes the one you mock becomes the only one who can save you. Stay till the end. Her flight will leave you speechless. Kate Dawson had always been the odd one out at flight school. While others aced landings, she struggled with basic controls. Instructors raised eyebrows. Peers exchanged smirks. She dropped her helmet once during inspection, spilled coffee on a map before test, and once, famously, walked into a propeller, luckily not running. They nicknamed her Clumsy Kate. A joke that stuck louder than her rank. But Kate didn't protest. She absorbed every laugh quietly. Because behind those laughs, she was learning, harder than anyone else. Flight training wasn't just about machines, it was about mindset. And Kate's resolve? Stronger than titanium. Every failed simulation was followed by late-night practice. She'd stay up studying manuals when others slept. Her fingers memorized control patterns like piano keys. She learned to breathe with the wind, to move with the machine. Where she once hesitated, she now adapted. Still, the teasing didn't stop. "Better not trip into the cockpit again, Kate," they joked. She smiled and showed up earlier the next day. The real test came months later in Afghanistan. Their unit was stationed near a volatile region. An extraction mission had gone south. Bad weather, enemy fire. 12 soldiers were stranded deep in hostile terrain. 2 helicopters had already turned back. Winds too harsh, visibility almost zero. No one wanted to risk another crash. No one, except Clumsy Kate. She volunteered without hesitation. Silence fell as the room stared. Was she serious? Command hesitated, but had no better option. Kate climbed into the pilot seat, heart pounding but calm. She double-checked every switch, every gauge. Her co-pilot, Sergeant Daniels, muttered, "Guess we're trusting Clumsy today." Kate didn't flinch. She simply nodded. As the rotors roared to life, the sky began to growl. Winds buffeted the chopper the moment it lifted. But Kate gripped the stick like it was an extension of her. Her training whispered through muscle memory. She flew into the storm, not away from it. Visibility dropped to near zero within minutes. Rain lashed the windshield, and lightning danced too close. Daniels watched her, eyes wide. She wasn't trembling. Her hands moved with practiced precision. Every turbulence hit was absorbed, adjusted, corrected. She used the terrain to block wind, dipped low when needed. She radioed the stranded soldiers, voice calm and clear. "We're coming in. Hang tight." They heard hope for the first time in hours. And back at base, a crowd gathered near the radar. Enemy scouts spotted the chopper first. Gunfire erupted from the ridge. Kate banked hard left, avoiding a direct hit. Her maneuver stunned Daniels. It was flawless. "We'll have to drop in fast," she said. She flew low, almost grazing treetops. The landing zone was barely wide enough. But she touched down like poetry. Soft, perfect. The stranded soldiers ran, some limping, some carrying others. 12 in total, every one of them alive. "Move! Move!" Kate shouted over the roar. Daniels helped pull the last man in. She was already powering up for takeoff. Bullets pinged the side, but she stayed focused. She lifted off before the enemy reached them. The ride back was pure adrenaline. Her breathing was steady, eyes locked forward. Daniels stared at her like seeing her for the first time. No stutter in her movements, no second guessing. Clumsy Kate? Not today. As they neared the base, the storm eased. The landing was smooth, even graceful. The base erupted in cheers the moment they touched ground. Medics rushed in. Hugs were exchanged. Command approached Kate with stunned silence. "Didn't expect that from you." one officer admitted. She just smiled, wiping sweat from her brow. Neither did the enemy, she replied softly. No bravado, just quiet victory. But the nickname? It wouldn't survive the night. News travelled fast, across the base, across the country. Clumsy Kate saves 12 became headline gold. But for Kate, it wasn't about glory. It was about the moment the soldiers smiled again, about proving to herself that she belonged. The teasing stopped immediately. No one dared use clumsy again. Her squad now called her Captain Calm. She earned a medal, but more than that. She earned respect that couldn't be given, only one. Kate continued flying missions, each more dangerous than the last. She never asked for special treatment, still trained late, still checked every bolt twice. Her reputation grew, not from legend, but from consistency. New cadets looked up to her in awe. Instructors began quoting her techniques in class. Once the punchline of jokes, now the model of discipline. But Kate remained grounded, humble as ever. She always said, "You don't need to be perfect, just prepared." And every time it landed like truth. One day, Daniels asked her about the mission. "Weren't you scared?" he asked quietly. Kate looked thoughtful for a moment. "I was terrified," she admitted with a smile. "But fear doesn't control you unless you let it." Daniels chuckled. "You really fooled us all." "No," she replied. "You just didn't look close enough." Behind the stumbles was steel. Behind the nickname was grit. And now there was no doubt. Years passed, and Kate rose through ranks. Eventually, she began training the next generation. She told them stories, not of medals, but of mistakes, of dropped helmets and spilled maps. She taught them resilience, not perfection. Many who stumbled felt hope because of her. "She's living proof you don't have to start strong," they'd say. "You just have to keep going." Kate's past became a teaching tool. Her legacy grew, not by image, but by impact. Veterans from that fateful mission still visited her. They brought families, stories, gratitude. One soldier named his daughter Katie in her honor. Another credited her with saving his life and his faith. They never forgot the storm, or the woman who flew through it, who refused to quit when quitting was easier. Her name became more than memory. It became a story passed on, a legend rooted in truth. Even in retirement, Kate was restless. She wrote a book, Wings in the Wind. Not about herself, but about believing when others don't. It became required reading at flight schools. Cadets highlighted chapters she once lived. She'd visit bases, giving quiet talks. Never dramatic, never boastful, just real, just Kate. Once called clumsy, now called commander. Proof that strength isn't loud, it's steady. And so, her story lived on in hangars and hearts, in every rookie who doubted their place, in every girl told she wasn't tough enough, in every moment someone decided not to give up. Because of Kate, many flew with more courage, with more patience, more grit, more grace. The skies remember her. The soldiers never forget. They once called her Clumsy Kate, but history calls her a hero.